Alright, welcome back to the Smoking Plank. Today we're making some pulled beef. Let's check it out. Alright, this is a good one for everyone out there that's wanting to cook a brisket but never has and are kind of intimidated by it. This is the best way to cook a brisket, no care, because you're really not going to mess it up. And technically, I don't even need to be trimming it right now, but I'm just practicing my skills on removing fat, and I'll probably remove that flap here in a second anyways. And when it came to my choice of brisket for this, I used a select cut. It was actually the cheapest but most floppiest brisket I could find. That's one of the key things. You always want to pick out a floppy one. Doesn't matter the grade of meat, just has to be floppy. But, you know, when it comes to barbecue, it wasn't started with the most expensive cuts of meat. People had the cheapest cuts of meat, and they made great barbecue with what they had. Plus, doing it this way, you get to try new things. I've never used steak sauce as a binder, and it gives you a chance to try new things. You can step outside the box. You might find something that tastes a lot better than what you're currently doing. I'm always on a quest to find the best flavor possible. It's ongoing and never ending. It does. It never ends. And once I get the binder applied here, you already know it's going to be salt, pepper, garlic. And I'm not saying that salt, pepper, garlic is the end-all be-all seasoning for brisket. It just works. You can really use anything you like. If you have a specific taste, put it on there. Just make sure you get all the sides. Also, keep in mind, we're going to be overcooking this brisket today. We're going to be taking it at about 204, 205 degrees. That's about where you want it when you want to make pulled beef. Not where you want it when you want it to be sliceable. Keep that in mind. Alright, now that I got it on there, we're going to get this thing closed up, get some splits put on there. We'll come back a little bit later. And here it is, the first look of the day. Oh man, you know it's going to be a good day when it's already looking like that. We're about 4 hours in on this cook, and it's already looking good. And here it is, a little bit later. Each time it's looking better. And I'm not doing a spritz. Sometimes I do, but this time I'm not. There it is. One thing I always do is the foil boat. It helps set the bark, catches all the juices, and keeps that fat just rendering. Alright, here it is. It's dark. About ready to pull this thing off of here. It is probe tender. Oh, and it's got some nice bark. It is looking good. I'm going to pull this thing off, and I'm going to let it rest in the oven overnight at about 170 degrees. And here it is the next day. It's ready to go. The fat is super rendered. I mean, this thing looks good. Look at that. When you see that yellow, you know your fat's rendered. This thing looks so good, and it smells delicious. Let's get it out of there and get it cut up. You'll see here the bottom of the brisket, some of the bark has been washed off since the rest, and you don't really have to worry about that because it's going to get shredded up and put right back into that awesome juice. Now this is where you could practice your slicing skills and things like that, but yeah, look at that. That is looking good. It is super tender. It's overcooked, but it's looking good. You can see there, it just shreds right apart. But yeah, you use this time to practice your slicing, or you can get right into the mashing. This is actually one of my most favorite parts when it comes to doing a pork butt or anything shredded like that. And you just keep pulling until you get the desired size that you want and consistency. Sometimes I'll add a little bit of beef broth or chicken broth, maybe a couple tablespoons of tallow, really all in what I'm feeling. Speaking of how I'm feeling, as you see here, I'm about ready to make myself a pulled beef sandwich on a waffle. And that right there is also some Coca-Cola barbecue sauce that I made. It was just a random Google recipe, and it actually turned out really good. I suggest it. Now we're going to be topping this off with some dill relish. I don't know why, I just really like dill relish on certain things. Oh, it's looking sloppy and delicious. I can't wait to tear into this thing. There it is. Let's try it out. Oh shit, that's good. Doesn't get much better than that. Holy cow. I totally whispered that into my GoPro's ear.
I noticed. The brisket makes you whisper sweet nothings.
As you can see, it was a true success, and I enjoy doing this type of stuff, and if you want to cook a brisket, let it fly. And like always, thanks for watching.